Is Bitcoin going to bounce? Is it make or break for majority of altcoins? Cardano, Avalanche, Solana. What's going to happen next? Bitcoin is down to $100,000 even. How much lower can we go? Are we going to bounce off of 100K? We have Magic Internet Money joining us to break down the charts. Now, speaking of charts, we highlighted a bearish head and shoulders pattern on the Bitcoin daily time frame, and we are right at our measured move to the downside. This next few days, this next few hours is going to be very, very important. If we lose 100 and close a couple of hourly candles below, chances are we are going to the mid 90s. We'll talk about what that means for altcoins. Speaking of altcoins, there's a couple of platforms, a couple of DeFi platforms that have gone under signs that you only see during bear markets or beginning of bear markets. Have we changed our stance on whether we're still in a bull market or we're officially in a bear market? We have a lot to talk about today. Gina, roll the intro.
Hola! It's your favorite host, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the oh my god, we're under $100,000 Bitcoin kind of show. We take old, boring, and stale information, repackage it up in a fun and sexy way. We tell you how to make money. You can listen to it if you want to, or you can just ignore it and do what you've been doing or the other people are doing. We're here to make money. I'm here to tell you how to do it. I'm also telling you how to lose money too, but we win more money than we lose, so take that with a grain of salt. David, man, you know
It's official.
I will say something. Is it under 100,000?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But guys, put the nail in the coffin. It's official. The leading analyst has called for a bear market.
Ooh.
Does this mean a reversal is coming right now?
I will say this. I exited all my trading.
Bitcoin's officially under 100,000.
Yeah, I exited all my trading positions. These are the times like you just sit on the sidelines. I tried to see if I could catch a bounce at 100. I thought Bitcoin was going to bounce at 100. It did not. And for that reason, well, I'll just sit on the sidelines, hold my cash, take whatever losses I had in the meantime, and we'll just wait and see what happens because
hey,
how low does it go? I don't know.
It's getting a bid at 100. It's at 100.3 now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not trading this at the moment. I want to see what direction it goes. If we get a clean bounce off of here,
I mean, look.
If we get a clean bounce and we're at like say 101,500, if we get back up there, then I'd feel pretty confident. But current moment.
Well, here's the good news, guys. There is a little bit of good news on the low time frame. You're seeing higher lows on your momentum indicator on Market Cipher B. You've seen two V-shaped recoveries, 1 and 2. This is what you want to see. We just got a green dot here. Could this be a setup for a anchor trigger wave long position? As Bitcoin is currently at $100.6 thousand. Just flipped a key volume level at 100.567. Can it stay above it right now? It's kind of teetering. You saw last time we were over in this area. Here, Bitcoin consolidated, chopped, and it fell. Are we going to see something similar here for Bitcoin? My feeling is, and I've said this all last week, I think we're going to break below 100K. I've been saying it all last week. We've got to dip below 100K. I think we get a bid here. If we can get back up to 107.5, I know that sounds like it's a pretty far off. If we can get back up to 107.5 and stay there for maybe a day or two, I think we can get continuation to the upside, but that remains to be seen. I don't have a magic 8 ball. I don't know. The saying of my business partner Rob here, if I had the magic 8 ball, I wouldn't be doing the show. So you still feel that way, or you still?
I've never said that.
Yeah, you did. You said if I knew the future, I wouldn't be doing the show.
I do know the future. I do know the future, and that is why I'm doing the show, because I'm trying to give you insight from far beyond 2025. And, boy's got a gift. Guess what? Donald Trump is not going to win re-election.
No way.
There it is.
Wow.
Your boy can tell the future. I am a prodigal son.
Wow.
Something like
The
that.
prodigal son.
I don't even know what a prodigal son.
Beautiful.
What does prodigal son mean, anyways?
I don't know. But
That's me, though.
I want to give a big shout out to today's channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by the #1 social casino in the world, which is stake.us.
Yay.
Guys, I set up a Luma link for the poker trading or the poker tournament, the free roll. And then Luma freaking banned my account because they said it, whatever. So I'm working on a different way to get inquiries. But tentative November 7th, which is on Sunday, at 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's a free roll. The winner will get $250 worth of free stake cash, as we see the mouse cursor over our LED wall there. $150.
The program monitor.
The program monitor.
Get out of here.
$250 worth of free stake cash for literally just playing poker with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. You only have to have a stake.us account, and that's it. And you're good to go. So big thank you to Stake for bringing today's show. If you want to learn more how you can have fun and win some free stake cash, there's links in the description. Rob, where at what point will you say that we are in a bear market territory? I'm going to share some news on a couple of protocols that kind of blew up. One got hacked, one essentially blew up. These are all bear market signals. Bitcoin extended rally to the downside, key levels being taken out. A lot of uncertainty in macro. The stock market's down. Are you price-based? We're in a bear market, or are you looking at other indicators?
I do not agree on any bear market talk.
Okay, so when? So my question is,
2026, maybe we'll have that conversation. Right now, no.
So you're blindly just, there's nothing that could happen that would, nothing.
Nope.
If Bitcoin went down to
it's in my blood, man.
If Bitcoin went down to $70,000, you would still say we're in a bull market?
I just say that was the. Yeah, I would.
You would?
Yeah, we saw it in 2021. We went from 60,000 down to what, 30,000, and a 50% drawdown. And so if we went from 120,000 to 70,000, it's not even a 50% drawdown. It's just one of the tops, right? One of the tops of the mini tops of this cycle.
The top.
I just like, if you're asking my opinion, you want a different answer. I don't know what to tell you, dude. There is no bear market.
You realize
once institutions collapse, or the large players in crypto, like the exchanges, the derivatives exchanges, perhaps custodial agents, maybe Ledger or something has some giant hack and everyone loses Bitcoin. I don't know. You need something giant to happen. And the market just trading down is not an indication of a bear market. 2021, what sent us into the bear market? It was a collapse of Terra Luna, followed by a collapse of all the other institutions that were reapothecating Bitcoin. What happened in 2017? It was a collapse of what exchange was it in 2017?
2017?
Yeah.
An exchange?
2018, whatever.
I don't remember.
Anyways, large cataclysmic events. I wanted to say catacombs for some reason. I don't know why.
Large catacombs of events.
Catatonic.
What?
I don't know. But anyways, then you had Mount Gox blow up. Anyways, these events, the bear markets have always come with something that popped, right? And you can look at the stock market the same way. The housing market collapsed because the housing market bubble popped, right? And then institutions came unwound, and you know what I mean? Like there's always something behind it. And so if you ask me, when is it a bear market? Not until something bad happens. And you're like, and everyone's like, yo, that's it for Bitcoin. Price action is not an indicator of bear market to me.
Okay, well, what about this? Take a look at this. Stream Finance. Yesterday, an external fund manager overseeing Stream Funds disclosed a loss of approximately $93 million. We are actively withdrawing all illiquid assets. Let me
how much
finish,
did you
dude.
hear about
Let me
Stream?
finish, man. They're withdrawing all liquid assets and expect this process to be completed. They've hired lawyers. Oh, and hey, Rob, one of the most well-known DeFi protocols, Balancer, sees 70 million exit in suspected crypto exploit. Balancer, one of the most established decentralized finance protocols, and more than 700 million of TVL, appears to have suffered a serious exploit. Early on-chain evidence indicates that attackers drained assets across multiple chains, with losses now exceeding 98 million, one of the largest DeFi breaches of 2025 so far.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I say, wow. Nobody. It's
No one cares about
things
Balancer?
blow up, man. Things blow up, but it's not that big cataclysmic event, right? And so, no, it doesn't do it for me, bro.
Okay. What about this, Rob? What about this? I'm trying to change. I'm trying to broaden your horizon here, guys. For the first time in 7 months, net institutional buying has dropped below the daily mine supply. Rob,
Why is my name on that?
because you're not paying attention to me.
I am.
No, you're not. Look at the chart. Open your eyes, sir. For the first time in 7 months, net institutional buying has dropped below. What do you say to that?
Institutional
I got
buying?
more, dude.
Okay.
I got more.
Go ahead.
I got more.
Keep bringing them on. I don't,
Okay. Michael Saylor bought the top. How does this man buy $114,000 price? He bought $45 million. Okay, their average is still 74. Okay, across the board, pretty good. They're still net positive. And Bitcoin is rallying. Our long is printing. We had a long open order here, $100.3 thousand, and it filled, and we are currently 25% in the green.
Here we go.
I told you, I said we had a bounce at 100, and we've
It's
taken
bouncing, and then it's going to come right back down.
Shut up. We've taken out this volume level here. 100.5K, very important. Now, this is the the hourly time frame. I guess the next level I have my eye out on the very, very low time frame is 101.9K on BTC. We have the Magic Man joining us here in a second. He'll give you a more in-depth analysis on Bitcoin and price action. I love Magic's insight because he does not give two shits. If he feels bearish, he says he feels bearish. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised, they try to go with what the people want to hear, and that is not our friend Magic. And so another big liquidity level here at 101 even. And looks like we got rejected there. We should see some bids coming in here. With that being said, we don't want to keep him on any longer. Magic, welcome back to the show, my friend. It's been a whole 7 days, but it's been a long 7 days, man. How you been?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Are you doing good, though, Magic? Are you?
I'm sat in a couple nice fat shorts, so yeah, I'm doing good.
You're still shorting, huh?
I've been short since I posted it on Twitter when we were at like 119. So
yeah, that's fair. You have. Okay, Magic. Before we go into the chart, I have to get everyone's reaction to this video. This was posted yesterday. Gentlemen, please watch and then we'll go into the Bitcoin chart.
I want you to quit while you're ahead, but I have to ask you about Bitcoin. I mean, you want to go out on a limb there too? Because it looks weak again today, 107. Go below 100 or no?
Well, you know, Bitcoin, I mean, if I look at everything since October 10th, because that was the biggest liquidation in the history of crypto, like bigger than FTX.
Like a margin call almost.
Yeah, it was like almost a miniature rupture, like a tsunami. We're only a couple weeks from that, so I think the market is consolidating. But if I look at fundamentals, like Ethereum, stablecoin volumes have been exploding, application revenues at all-time highs. So right now, fundamentals are leading price in crypto. So I think eventually we consolidate and then we rally into year end.
To where, 150?
Yeah, I think we could still get to 150, 200 for Bitcoin, and then something like 7,000.
150 to 200,000 in Bitcoin. End of the year. Magic, I'll start with you first. Actually, I'm going to start with Rob first, and then we'll hop over to Magic for the Bitcoin chart. Rob, is Tom Lee smoking that good? It's my boy over here saying 150 to 200. That would be a 2x in less than 60 days. Rob, is it possible?
In how
With
many
the current
days?
sentiment in 60 and by the end of the year, so less than 60 days, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Once we get the shakeout here, we're back.
There's
off
nothing
to the
more to
races.
shake out.
That's when you get your bounces. That's when you get your parabolic runs.
Who's left to shake out? Everyone's shaking out.
I don't know. Maybe I'm permabull here or whatever. Maybe I'm blinded, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty simple for me though. We're not at the end of the bull market. My perspective, we're coming down, finding a local bottom, and then that's when you take off. I don't know, man. I don't think it's. If I had to wager one side or the other, I would lean towards not getting to 200,000 and not getting to 150,000. I think that we'll probably go back up to 120 and test that, maybe 130 and consolidate. That's what I think will happen, but I don't think it's a far reach. I don't think dude's smoking something, as you said, calling out 150, 200. I just don't. I do think that this is bottom territory for me. Now, do we go under 100,000, go down to 95 or 92? Sure, I see that scenario playing out, but what I don't see is us down at 60, 70,000. I just don't see that. So.
Okay. Magic. Talk to me through the charts, my friend. Is Rob...
You're more likely to see 70K than 200K.
Okay, so you think it's more likely we see 70 than 200. Okay. What is the what are you seeing on the Bitcoin chart, Magic? Are there any key levels that people need to look out for potential short-term bounces? And is there maybe one very important level that if we lose it on a high time frame that we can, kind of entertain the idea of maybe it is over?
Sure. One key level would be right here by the end of the year. Be at 97,852. I do kind of mark it off as a zone, but what I'll kind of highlight here is that on a yearly basis, we talk about the 50% mark often on this channel. And I really want to highlight this because we actually covered this probably over a year ago at one point. The 50% mark from the previous year is so important. And so what I do is I chart them in terms of both linear and log because they are slightly different, and I kind of zone it off. And so from 2021's low to high, this was the zone you got. There's your 2022 high. This is the 50% mark from the 2022, from the high to low. There's your spot. As soon as you crack it, that's the time to kind of go banana sandwich, right? You can see we did hold 2024 into 25, and that $97,000 pivot that I just highlighted falls right in line with our current 50% marks, both in linear and logarithmic scale for this current year, which will project out into 26 eventually. But just looking at it, losing those levels does not look well, because then you'll actually be probably having a negative yearly candle as well, which we don't get a lot of those. And traditionally, once you do, you're in the bear market. So I would say, this like 96 up to 100K level is going to be kind of key. The box that I had formed was 96,887.5 to 100,689.4 as being the area to watch here for a significant bounce. And there's a lot of things that say that this area is very important. I don't want to get too far off into the weeds, but if you lose this area, a couple different things start to happen on the Bitcoin chart that traditionally do signal tops. One of the big ones is going to be your all-time high here. And you could actually put on the 2017 high. I went to the Coinbase chart for this because Bybit does not provide enough data. But as soon as your 200-week EMA starts crossing above the previous cycle's high, you're generally topping out. And you can see that we are getting into that. And I did mark off the 65K and 69K high here from 21. And you can see that we are getting quite extended. So yeah, you're getting into that zone where this would be something to look for. And one reason I do believe that we're going to go slightly lower than this, but you would be looking for a major bounce zone. And I think that you could see a bounce, a significant one. Doesn't mean it's a reversal, but you could see a significant bounce out of this area. Is that you are coming into a multiplier region for me on the 200-week moving average. So what I do is I track these at key areas, and then I just multiply it by 2. Anytime you come into a major high, generally, you want to see it trending above 2 times the 200-week moving average in terms of the EMA. And if you do, it'll usually be support and resistance, as you can see right here. And it generally leads to a further expansion in terms of like uptrend. For the first time, we actually are now below it and living below it quite substantially. The natural place to look for anytime you do that is just to look for the median, the 1.5x of the 200-week moving average. And I zone it off from the key high to the low in terms of like where it's coming in at, because it does change, it's dynamic. And so if we were to look at it now and just kind of turn it on, you can see that it would say that we're still looking for a little bit lower, but we're coming into a major bounce zone. So the hopium is going to be that, 65,048.3 times 1.5. It gives us basically the top end of this box. And your coordinates on that are like 95, give or take, up to about 97.5. Kind of just further validating that if we do, start handing over this region of the chart, and I'll get rid of this because it just kind of muddies everything up, that this is you're now targeting the 200 week, which is all the way down at 65K. So this is kind of a do or die moment for Bitcoin at that point, in terms of my opinion on the bull market. But I do start to really favor that the bull market is likely over if nothing substantial happens out of this region.
Yeah, Forrest, I was talking to Forrest yesterday, and he was on he was on Thread Guys podcast, and his thesis was if we don't get a bounce at 100K, then or the cycle's probably over. So for him, the level was 100,000. Bitcoin is seeing a bid here, 101.2. I'm not trying to sound like I have hopium here.
It should get a bid here.
Right.
This is a tradable region.
Right, but it's gotta, for me, like, it's got to get back over 108, and then it's got to get back over like 112.5. Will that happen? I don't know. It's just, for me, I know there's a lot of people, especially TA people, who don't really pay attention to the news. They just trade the charts, right? For me, I mix a little bit of both. And so when you look at the news, and I want to ask you guys, well, I know Rob's position here, but Magic, I'd like to ask you as well, how much impact do you think the government being shut down has on the current price action of crypto? We take a look. I think the NASDAQ was down pretty big today as well. NASDAQ down 1.6% on the day. The Russell 2K down 1.5%, S&P down 1%, and Dow Jones down 300 points. So, Magic, how much impact do you think this government shutdown has had on current price action? Do you have any insight on the whenever the government shuts down, how markets react?
I don't really know historically how it's going to react. I can just kind of like postulate some generic opinions on it, because I don't think by any means I'm a macro expert in things like that. But the government being shut down and the size of our current government is kind of an issue, I guess, if you're wanting to be bullish on like just money flow of the market, because I don't remember the exact number, but I think someone said in our Discord, and I'd have to fact check them, so somebody can fact check me on repeating this, but about 38% of the GDP or something like that was like created through the government. And I don't know if that's true because I don't follow that stuff, but I know the government is quite large, and that as soon as you shut it down, there's a lot of things that stop going. So banks are going to feel a little bit of a crunch, things like that. That's not bullish for any market, in my opinion. So while the Fed is still projecting rate cuts, but they don't have data, we say that could be a good thing. Then you have the government shutdown that could also, negatively affect it. So I would say it's just not positive. That's really all there is to it. It's not positive in almost every facet. So.
Yeah, the whole thing, Magic, with, well, it's a good thing the Fed won't have the numbers. You also have to think about, if they make decisions with no numbers and they finally get those numbers, are they going to overreact one way or the other? Which, in my opinion, even if it's a big rate cut, is not going to be good for the markets. So I think there's just a lot of uncertainty. When is the government going to open? Is GDP going to drop? Because, well, part of the GDP equation is government spending. What's the Fed going to do? The liquidity at the banks. Guys, what I'm telling you is, look at what the U.S. government, and really any government, has historically done when the economy is in shambles. And over the last 2 decades, it's gotten worse in terms of at a much smaller scale do negative things need to happen in the economy for the Fed and the Treasury to turn on the money printers. It used to be complete collapse, fine, we'll bail you out. Now it's like one bank goes under and here's all the money, we'll print to oblivion. And guess what happens when they print to oblivion? Everything starts to rally. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, even if the worst case scenario happens and we're in a bear market and you see these collapses and the stock market collapses, There's going to be money printers that are going to get turned on at the Fed. We know the Fed is done with quantitative tightening at the end of the year. Bring in quantitative easing. So, but again, I think a lot of the uncertainty is what's driving the markets down. That's just my personal opinion. Rob, do you care to throw any insight here before I ask Magic for the next chart?
No, the reason that Bitcoin's price keeps going up is because it's measured against fiat currency, particularly the dollar. And if the government that prints the dollars is essentially closed, then at that point, you would expect that there's going to be a slowing of assets that are priced against the dollar, slowing down. And so it's, we talk about money printer. Well, what happens when you just completely shut off all the money printer? Like, a money printer is always on, right? The government's always spending money. It's always accruing debt. It's always passing new laws or bills or whatever it is, and stacking on to their obligations and essentially putting more money into the system. That's just how the government runs. The reason that the gas keeps going up every year, and you look back every 10 years, you look back and everything is about twice the price, right? Gallon of gas 10 years ago is about half the price it is now. Houses, the same thing. You name it, right? Cars used to cost $20,000. Now they cost $40,000. 10 years before that, cars used to cost $10,000. And so that's just the reality, is that the reason Bitcoin, crypto, stocks, the commodities, the reason they go up in price is because fiat currency just keeps printing. But we're in a unique situation where the government's been closed for a historic amount of time. It's never been closed for this amount of time. And
Is
so
it official? It's the longest
it's
ever?
the longest closure we've had. And so if that's the situation, it doesn't take an economist or a financial sleuth here to be like, hey man, getting inflated. It's if it was a 2-week shutdown, okay, cool, yeah. But now at some point you got to be like, hey man, things are slowing down. Not to mention, a lot of people just aren't getting paid. People aren't grocery shopping like they were because they're not spending the money the government gave them. So grocery stores, that's how many grocery stores are in every single city? And you also spend your SNAP or your food stamp or whatever it's called. You spend that in convenience stores as well. And so all of this is drying up. And so there's less money in the system. It's just the reality of it, man. And I do think once the government opens back up, I think things will rally. Will it be the catalyst to send Bitcoin back to all-time high? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if 3 weeks from now the government's still closed, we're under 100K for sure. That's just how
you said 3 weeks from now?
Yeah. If 3 weeks from now the government's still closed, there's going to be a drying up of liquidity in the fiat from dollars and spending, and people are going to be hurting. There's a lot of federal employees. We're going to see Bitcoin and other assets continue the direction they're going.
One thing I'll say about that,
yeah, please,
for Rob's point about being under 100K in 3 weeks of the government being closed, is this was something I was going to bring up. In the group, I had one of the members, he creates indicators for me, and he created this one because I like to measure things too much, and this made it easier to track percentages of timeframes. This one is on the 3-month, and so what I've done is gone back and I'm just looking solely at 3-month candles. I believe I'm supposed to actually be on the Bybit chart for this one is one I had. Yeah, I believe this is the guy.
Looks like you're on the weekly there, Magic.
Yeah, I'll switch it up here in a second if my trading view would act accordingly. We had a very outlier situation, if you recall, when I started calling for this 84% candle right here, where we had candles that were underperforming by about 50% or more. You never get 3 of those in a row on a quarterly chart. So you never get 9 months of compression. You always get 6 months in some cases, but if you get 6 months, you can count on the third, candle in that iteration to be an expansion back to the average between 62 and 86%, depending on if it's positive or negative. We just had an 18% candle positive, which the average bullish quarter is 81% top to bottom. So you can see how little this candle was. The odds of us getting another compression candle are pretty low. We don't see a ton of those, meaning that we're not going to see another quarter that underperforms most likely. You'll see a quarter go back to the average, and the average bearish candle is about 37 and some change percent. So meaning that if this is going to be a bearish quarter, that we would expect a negative 37.7% quarter top to bottom. So we would take the high at 126, 197, and we'd just, project it down. And if you do that, you're actually looking down to about $78,000. And so that's kind of a sombering thing to say to people, but that's just the reality of statistics. Now, statistics don't have to play out, but that's just the average. Okay, so as of right now, that's the expectation if we don't see some strength out of this market. And so I'll kind of just leave it at that, not to be too overly bearish, but it is one of those things where kind of covered this recently with the group. So I did want to kind of put that in everyone's eye that, if things do start failing here, because you do have things that people are going to be, aiming for small gaps down at like 90K, things like that on the daily chart. If that starts to happen, this could really snowball into a larger move. And traditionally, when we get a top in a market, and I'm going to get rid of some of this junk on the screen, like I said, the 1.5, part of it in terms of like the 2021 high where we got this big bounce here, certainly could happen. But generally, once a market tops, like these candles get pretty aggressive. It's not like it just waits around. It gets pretty nasty pretty quick. So that wouldn't be out of the question or uncommon if that happened. That next quarter is generally not good. Like the quarterly candle in 2021 is actually positive, but if you look at it from 69K down to where it closed, it closed at 46 from $69,000, just to reference that. And that's one quarterly candle. So, the volatility that comes off the back of an all-time high in Q4 is generally pretty extreme. So I would expect this candle to probably fulfill its average. Now, if price flips around and takes out the quarterly open at 115, maybe we see some pretty good upside here and we can all, call Tom Lee a god. But, until then, I have to say that this probably looks like it's going to expand to an average bearish quarter. And that's going to put us in like the 80 to 70s potentially by the end of the year. And so is what it is.
It is what it is. I also think about it this way as well. Bear markets have historically, we get to a bottom fairly quickly, and then we kind of chop for a very long time. And if you think about what's different this cycle than previous cycles, and obviously moving forward, is previously it's really only been the retail investor, you and I, your friends, your family, maybe a couple of VCs, right? And they're waiting for them to get money to pump the markets. Now, right, moving forward, you have a bunch of ETFs. You have a bunch of people who are excited about the asset, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana's got an ETF now, and obviously a few other ones. So there's more buyers. And so I think, let's just say the worst case scenario, this is the bear market, which I don't think it is, but let's just say it is. And we do get down to that 77K, and that's the bottom. There's going to be a lot more potential money that's going to be buying those dips. And so I think the consolidation is going to be a lot shorter than a year and a half of just chopping sideways between, let's say, $70,000 and $75,000 for 18 months. And then we see a massive rally. I think it'll be more gradual consolidations with big spikes up. But that remains to be seen. I don't know what the future looks like. That's just kind of where my mind goes. And so, yeah, Magic, there's two altcoins I want to do a chart on if you don't mind. The first one is Avalanche. The title of today's show was Make or Break. We've seen pods of altcoins really run. ICP's up almost 2x. Tau ran up to $500, obviously seeing a deep pullback. We've seen, again, little pods of these alts, Zcash, Dash. They don't care what Bitcoin is doing. They don't care what the rest of the markets are doing. They continue to rally. And that to me tells me that these are more than likely utility-driven price pumps, which is what you want to see. If we're not going to see from Avalanche, and we're not going to see from Cardano, it's kind of a make or break moment. What are you seeing on the Avalanche chart? And then we're rolling to Cardano.
Yeah. Nothing good. To be upfront with you, nothing good here.
Thanks, man.
It had an opportunity.
Daniel Kaufman, close your ears. We have one community member, Magic, who just is in here all the time, and is the only thing he holds is Avalanche, and he's always asking if the price is going to go to zero. But anyways, please.
To zero, I think a lot of things are going to go to the zero that people don't want to admit. But when you're looking at this in terms of structure, you've got a really clear channel to the downside. I would just kind of there we go. They changed up how you extend these things, and I kind of hate it. It's been that way for a little while, but like you got kind of a channel here. You could probably draw it a little cleaner with trend lines, but you get the point. This was a monthly high we said needed to hold. You did base off of it initially when you made this high into the yearly open, but has since failed. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete the level and cruise to the quarterly chart real quick just to have a gander. And yeah, all right. So this thing did what it was supposed to with this swing fail here on the quarterly level and monthly time frame. You can see it set up shop, got a nice pump into the 2025 open, which I believe is also a local gold pocket from the most recent high to low. And that's we call that a quarterly level because you can see the candles settled up really nicely here. We would mark this in orange as well usually. But yeah, that was resistance, failed to hold 27. So you would expect to see this. And if this doesn't hold, you know, looking at it even on like a monthly basis here, you can see how this begins to kind of look like a support that you don't really want to live below. Because if you live below it, you're probably heading back down to your lows here, like the sub $10 range, to be quite upfront with you. So if this cannot hang on to 1729 in the medium term, you know, weeklies, monthlies, this could have some serious problems. Basically taking a 50% haircut from where it is now. Yeah, this is going to be a very common one. I mark 46 on the RSI quite frequently for most assets. And losing this, or you could say 50%, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you. 50% on this chart does look a little bit better, but you're well beneath it now, and you're actually being rejected on it. I'll change it to 50 for that sake, and you can see that it's generally you want to be above or below this, and that'll kind of give you an indication that you're well below it. You're below the exponential. You're breaking down from key support. I would expect this to come down into oversold territory eventually, which means that this asset's probably going to trend lower with it. So that's just kind of how I see it. It's not to be, you know, till you sell all your avalanche. I imagine you're probably underwater anyway if you're holding it. So, you know, you're gonna have to decide what's best for you, I think, eventually here.
Sure
But,
is.
these are
Sure am. I mean,
well, it's just one of those where, like, I don't mind when people tell me they invested in something like Avalanche, or, you know, maybe they invested in Cardano. It's just, you know, maybe don't make your entire portfolio based around the success of something like that. Definitely want to take a risk adverse approach. And yeah, they've heard that a million times, not just from me, but probably from numerous places in the space as well. So it's not to like beat it down, but it is, you know, at the core, it's just fundamental risk management in terms of like what you're investing in. Just like people that are in crypto should learn, and I think this cycle proves it more than anything, they should learn to invest in traditional markets a little more, because you know, the tech sector did really, really well this past you know, cycle, and altcoins obviously underperformed. You know, traditional land does have opportunities too, and these, you know, finding the winner is the needle in the haystack in crypto, because there are just thousands of projects, and a lot of times you can find these winners, but it's a short-term win in most cases. So you got to be ready to kind of like not marry it and, you know, pull out capital and protect yourself. And if you're not willing to do that, you know, it can be a rough ride. It can be a really rough ride, actually.
Rough Riders, the DMX, right? DMX, and great song. It's a great band. Magic. And one final chart, if you don't mind. Can we take a peek at ADA? I think I had 51 cents marked off as kind of like my line in the sand for ADA. If we lose that, so yeah. Anyways, what are we seeing on the Cardano chart?
We talked about this one, and we also talked about HBAR. Ironically, the charts look almost identical.
Nice.
So that's not good. Not good now.
Nice.
HBAR was looking okay up until we talked about how it could just be making lower highs with a flat bottom of support. And I could probably get rid of some of this stuff here just because it's clunky and in the way. And so I'll delete it, so it's just easier to kind of sift through. I just don't update these charts too much unless it's needed. Yeah, you have a big descending triangle here. It's not looking good. So it had its opportunity. We said that 94.5 cents really needs to be reclaimed. It's a major level going back in history from the inception here. And you can see above it, good things happen below it. Not necessarily bad things, but you're probably going back to your base. Measured move on this thing, I know we're not pattern traders, but puts you down near the 2020 highs, which is back at these lows here. So, you know, I've got this box that I had here that this is where I wanted to buy ADA for everyone at home. I had put this box on here before capitulation here had happened into the lows, and I was hoping to buy here, and I didn't get to, which is okay. So it is one of those things where my other major macro buys started here at like 20 cents. I had said that this box would be hit and that this is where I would buy all my ADA, and you can see that it came up short. So I never bought ADA this cycle, never owned any. It actually front ran me on both of these, but now I'm starting to think that it's probably going to fulfill both boxes. And I probably won't be a buyer this time. But yeah, I think it comes back down to its base somewhere between 20 cents and probably like 25 cents at some point. Could be wrong if you get a fake out here. I mean, these things can break to the upside too. So, you know, I would just be cautious on anything like this. If Bitcoin is topped, you know, this is my lot. If Bitcoin is topped, you know, the rotation this cycle really isn't occurring. And I think it would be a little bit on the really overly risky side for me to put money into something like this if Bitcoin is going into a bear market. You know, like the market is really driven solely by that one asset. So until something changes on that front, I'm just going to be very, very negative in terms of like the idea of putting money into even more risk on assets, right? So that's kind of my take on it.
Awesome. Magic, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. Any parting words for the people watching before we let you go?
You know what? The only parting words I really have are big thank you to Sin City for the last year and putting up with me saying that the top would come in between here and 125 because there's a lot of people out there that don't want to hear that and didn't want to hear it for like 9 months. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for not booting me off for kind of being not necessarily a bear, but for kind of just saying, hey, these are the levels that I think the market's going to top at. And it just kind of is still playing out that way.
You know, if you were some bullshit trader who was just like, there's some who just try to, you know, say stuff to get clicks and views. You're definitely not one of those people. And I think it would be a disservice to our community if you have, both of us are, Rob and I are both bullish. We don't think the market's over. You have an opposite view. I think we'd be doing a disservice to our community if we just kept bringing on people who just kept amplifying the same thing, because then you become kind of in this vacuum, in this can, and then the chances are, if we're wrong, you're going to get screwed. So we'd like to bring people like Magic on, people who have the pedigree, who have been doing it for a long time, who don't have fluff, and just give you a different perspective. And so you have a more well-rounded bias from a personal standpoint. Maybe you agree with Magic more, maybe you agree with us more, but we don't want to just put you in a can, in a box of just Rob and myself and all the people who just try to say, yeah, the bull market's not over for clicks. I have my reasons, Rob has his reasons, and then Magic has his reasons for the opposite as well. And so, Magic, we love you. We actually appreciate the fact that you do have different viewpoints on the markets, and so we'll continue to bring you back on, and we hope that you will continue to come back on. That was a very long monologue. We love you, bro. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All righty, Heidi Mighty, Aphrodite. What? Oh, I'm such a dad. Whoever it was back there? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this. So this is from Eric Balchunas. He said, senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg said, we said Bitcoin ETFs would grow via 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And right now it is back step time. You can see this pattern in IBIT's flows. And if you're not familiar, IBIT is BlackRock's ETF, spot ETF. If anything, wait, what? No, come back. Come back. Oh, right here. Jack, come back. If anything, we do a few steps back. We're due a few steps back, given all the steps forward. Part of the process. Only a small child would expect green all day, every day. Rob, are you a small child? Sorry. I had to. So Eric is telling you, look, this is what we expected. Obviously, I think it's a bunch of different things happening. I think a lot of people are buying into the top is in October 6th from the Time Traveler. October 10th definitely didn't help the big liquidations. There's rumors that Wintermute is suing Binance and there's large sell-offs. There's a couple projects going under. BlackRock's clients are selling. I think it's just a snowball effect that's feeding into people's bias of, the guy was right. Oh my God, yay. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll see some reverse, but any thoughts on this chart here, Rob? And then I want your opinion on kind of what I said with moving forward with the new potential buyers that have access to Bitcoin and ETH products that they never had before, if that's going to affect how long and how the bear market plays out. Not saying we're in one now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just check that box again. There's not in bear market territory. Not,
No, I know, but
but
you get my question, right?
yeah. What was the question? I heard bear market.
I said the market dynamics are different. Bear markets have, we went down quick and then we consolidated for 18 months because we're waiting for just the average retail user to come in and pump the markets. Now we have the institutions and Wall Street. I think the snapback is going to be faster.
I just don't subscribe to the idea that we're going to be down here at this range for a long time. Like you formulated the question like 17 different ways.
That's not true.
You're like,
So
hey,
you don't think we're
no,
you don't,
okay.
You are never getting a bear market. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying we're never going to get a bear market, but the bear market time is not now.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is,
I get it.
let's say it's a year from now and we're in a bear market. Do you see the same
in hindsight? You always say
18-month consolidation?
Then if that's true, if we're in 2026 and we're still under 100K, for example, then yeah, I'll be like, you know what, perhaps we're in a bear market. But I don't know. Even then, I'd still be like, hey man, this is just the one of the cycle tops. I think we're in a 3, 4, 5 tops. This
I think you're missing my point. My point is not when the bear market's coming. My point is
you're saying that institutions and that the sellers and Wall Street and the price is going to consolidate for a long time, or at least that's what the macro is saying. What do I got to say against that? And what I'm just telling you is my same exact thesis the whole time is that this is a short-lived crash, pullback. And the thing is it didn't even pull back hard. It was like it went from 107 to 100,000 over the course of like, was it 3 days? 2 days? It's been a slow little pullback, man. Like you look over, so let's take a look here. You look at Bitcoin, and we'll pull up just the regular chart here. On the week here, I mean, it was a nice slow drop. I mean, if that's a thing, man.
Yeah,
from 107 to 103, that was a whole day, and then he went down to 100K. Everyone saw this coming, man.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just, I don't know, dude. I just don't. You're gonna keep. You're like, I feel like 15 minutes from now, or
No.
7 minutes from now, you're gonna be like, all right, so Rob,
No.
I got this article here. It's telling you that the markets are gonna keep going down. What do you got to say about that? And then Monday's show, tomorrow's show. You're like, hey man, now that we're at 99,000, what do you think we're going to be at in 3 months from now? It's going to keep. Everyone's telling you it's going to keep going down. I'm like, I don't believe it. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you my perspective. Now, Magic, he's in a different boat. Like he's nailed it. Yes, okay, cool. But my perspective, government's going to reopen up. There is tons of progressive legislation coming in. There is companies buying. The markets will reverse. That's my whole point.
So do you think 15 minutes from now the market?
Like, and here's the beauty of it. During the pullbacks, I'm going to make money the whole way down. I'm going to buy dips. I'm going to sell pumps. I'm going to flip bounces. Like, dude, like it's part of the game, man. You don't make money all up and to the right only. So whatever. I mean, you know what? I take whatever weather I'm in, man. If it's raining outside and and the race has, you know what I mean? Like the race, you got to race. It's race day. It's raining. Put the rain tires on, bro.
Straight up.
Just do it, man. Like that's it.
Just don't bring out the snow tires.
You don't
No
like
chance.
you don't like. Okay, you're Formula One, whatever. It's raining outside. Like what do you drop out of the race? No, you put the rain tires on, you go and win the damn thing, bro. It's the same thing here. We're in a storm.
Rain tires.
There is. Formula One has rain tires, bro.
Okay.
Those things are have no tread on them or whatever it is. You hit any water on a Formula One tire,
It's like a slip and slide.
Yeah, you're
Not
instantly
the good
spinning
kind.
out. But yeah, you put rain tires on and you run the race, man. That's it. And so it's the same thing here, dude. Yeah, you'd like perfect green sky conditions, blue sky conditions, whatever it is. And but the reality of it is that, hey man, you're gonna get volatility, you're gonna get storms, you're gonna get pullbacks. It's just part of the game, man.
Bitcoin is currently on a very low time frame. A little bit of inverse head and shoulders here. Let's see this breakout, where it can go, the measured move. 101.9. And so not enough for me to scalp personally. But I think we do make a run at 101.9. And then if we can flip that, then we can talk about some higher levels. Volume-wise, your next big level is going to be 103.7. And then above that, really like 104.5, 105. And then I do want to show this. This is an interesting post by Marty Party. And good timing, last gambit. Clarity Act. So he says, okay, so he says, Clarity Act passes, shutdown ends, quarter QT starts. I think you mean QE starts. Liquidity is coming, and retail wakes up and will FOMO late as always. No effing bear here. Interesting. So this is from Marty Party. The market structure bill will slash crypto manipulation by 70 to 90% overnight. It's not perfect, but it's the biggest anti-manipulation hammer Congress has ever swung at crypto. The plan is to sign it before Christmas. Same DNA as the FIT 21 bill, but tougher on fraud. It's saying it kills manipulation. It bans wash trading. 40% of Bitcoin volume on Binance, Bybit, and OKX is wash trading to liquidate leveraged traders. Interesting. Now, this is what a lot of people point to and say that is why we see these crazy price swings and why we sit here and scratch our heads and say, why are we getting all this bullish news?
Dude, it might be a beautiful time. Just gotta interrupt you to enter in on ICP, bro. If we're getting that clean breakout here, bounce or at 101.5, I mean, maybe you catch a little retracement down to 560, but I think this thing is about to clear $6. And if we see a situation where Bitcoin's back over 103, I would expect a $6.50 ICP, maybe 670, maybe cross $7.
6, 7.
So, yeah, if Bitcoin keeps pushing up above one, if it gets over 102, ICP is going to be in dreamland, brother.
I mean, look at this. Look at this.
590 right now.
Look at this. No, it's at $6. Look at this daily candle.
Dude, it's about to like put your positions in now. I would obviously you got a lot of downside risk with the market turning. We could be getting a little dead cat bounce here on full 100. But I think it seems like a clean bounce, dude.
I want to see again.
Bitcoin got
said
a
it before.
Clean bounce here.
I'm actually going to go against
We might go
you.
back down. We might go back down to 100. But I think if it does, if we go back under 100K, I think it's later this afternoon. So I think that you got about 3 or 4 hours of good trading to do. I think you can make some crazy money in the next couple hours, brother. Especially ICP. I think this is going to be the front runner. I would expect ICP over the next. I mean, look at the 1 hour. It's up 8%, dude. This thing is about to it's full of fuel, bro. It's about to rip. Also, you got Zcash up 5% on the 1 hour. So I would expect Dash as well to run. Where's Dash at? Dash is probably leading behind. Dash at 120 might be an absolute steal. Call it right now. I bet you in 30 minutes, Dash is at 127. What time is it? At noon, this will be at 127. Or above. ICP is looking good. ICP's at $6.
I'm going against you at $6.25. I'm actually going to go short.
On what?
On ICP.
You're going short?
At $6.
This thing's going vertical, bro. You're going to get liquidated.
I mean, maybe I will. I have a tight stop loss, so I'll show you guys what I did. And if you want to follow us, there's a link to get on Bitunix here. So ICP, I'm shorting it at $6.26. Why? Well, look at this purple line, you guys. I mean, yes, there's momentum. Okay. I'll probably be wrong, but I have a tight stop loss. I talked about this on the morning. We did a little trading show in the morning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it's gotten rejected at this level.
It just hasn't had any pullbacks, man. The biggest pullback it's had was from 520 to 480.
It was an 8% pullback yesterday.
No, I'm saying in the last 24, like it is.
Yeah.
I think that was 8% there. It doesn't have pullbacks, man.
Well,
so it's just steady growth.
It's coming up on a very important level again, and my stop loss is at 630, 633. I think I did. Where's it at? 631.3. I'll probably actually move that up just a tiny bit. Let's go 630.25. That would be a 12% L. And so if I'm wrong, we'll get stopped out fairly quickly. If I'm wrong, this thing is at the very least running it up to $7.70, which again, I would expect it to get rejected. If it breaks that, you guys, it's more than likely going up to $15. You might see a little bit of a stop around $9. And when I say stop, I mean, it rallies, it cools off a little bit. You have another big liquidity volume level here at $12.10. And then I would be targeting $15.30 for ICP. But I don't know. I mean,
if Bitcoin downturns, if it goes back under 100K, then you're gonna be spot on. So I mean, yeah, I think the big measure here is what happens with Bitcoin. Is it going to continue get to 101,700, 800, 900? That happens. I think that these big runners, the ones that are trendy right now, will be the biggest winners here. Really liking Dash at 120 though.
I'm just trying to look at I'm
because
on
Zcash is up so heavy, and Zcash and Dash have danced together this last 3 days.
You know what's interesting? Okay, so when we saw this large, so I'm looking at ICP Definity's website, right? internetcomputer.org metrics. This is ICP burned. Okay, we had a massive spike during Bob.Fun. That's when we ran up to $21. We haven't seen this now. So my question is, what is driving this price action? Dispersed voting rewards. But this is the big one I was looking at was total ICP burned. You can take a look at the supply over the last 1 year. I guess it kind of let's look at the last 1 month actually. I mean, it continues to go up, right? It continues to kind of stair step up. And so when you look at this, you say, well, it shouldn't be going up the way it is, but it is going up the way it is. Let's take a look at Canister smart contracts. Over the last 1 month, I guess that has kind of started rallying after a low of around 9. And so, yeah, but I don't know if this short's going to get filled, but I kind of hope it does. I want to see if I'm right or I'm wrong. Either way, one of us will be right. This is great.
Well, I mean, it looks like Bitcoin's kind of coming closer to 101, so we'll see what happens here. I think that'll be the big test.
Did you open a position?
I'm in Dash right now, so yeah, okay. I'm in Dash.
Not ICP.
No. Okay.
All right. That'll do it for the.
I think Dash at that 120's a good move.
120. Okay. Cool. All right, that'll do it for the show today. I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. Big thanks to our guest, Magic. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. We'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time. With that being said, Gino, roll the outro. Thank you all very much. We love and appreciate all of you. Please subscribe to the channel. You know, Bitcoin might be going down, but we're trying to hit that 100K, baby. Help us out. We love you. See you tomorrow.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.